Good evening everyone and welcome back to Piccadilly. Been working on those platforms a little bit more and there you are. Now what can you see there? Now, I've weathered those platforms. They were far too dark and the white edge was, like I said, was far too bright. So I've grimed it up a little bit and you'll notice this dark track that seems to be running just inside the white edge. Now on one side of the platform it's been tarmacked in and the other side is not quite, I think it's still there. I might be wrong. Perhaps Steve, if you're listening, you can correct me on that. But even so, whatever it is, it's still a dark edge. But you might also remember I said down here there would be a bridge. Now it's in the very early stages and I'm playing about with it. I've made it today and it's very rough at the moment, so please don't get the impression that's going to be it. It really isn't. But oops, let me move out of the way so you can see a bit better. What I'm actually going to do, I'm playing about with the banking that's coming down off here now. So I've made some more walling to go along the front. Again, it's just a rough mock-up at the moment. It still needs the brick papers. And I'm working out where this has actually got to be. But I'll get that walling just placed on and then you can have a look at that.
One thing I do want to point out to you, this platform is very, very narrow. Imagine an N-gauge person there. I'm guessing from pictures, and I might be ever so slightly wrong here, but it doesn't look as if it's any more than 10 foot wide from the wall to the platform edge. And I might be slightly overscale with the white edge there, but to be quite frank with you, it's like I said before, sometimes I think in N-gauge you've just got to see things, and so I'm really not going to be worried by that. And you know, you just have to use the space you've got and make the best of what you've got. I think the point of being able to get on a train will still be there. This isn't an express platform. There aren't any yellow lines along it, so trains don't charge through at 100 miles an hour. It's not that type of station. It's a very rural, countrified station from what I gather. And really only DMUs and possibly special trains stop here. It's nothing more than that. You certainly don't get pendolinos coming through here anyway. But anyway, so yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there for this bit. And like I said, I'm going to get this bit patterned up now. Right.
There's the papier-mâché done, just up to that point where I pointed out last time. Okay, so you can start to get the impression now that the station is now set in this deep recess, and obviously the same is going to happen to the other side. Now, one thing I forgot to tell you as well, that I wasn't happy with the length of the platforms, so I added another, say, 4 inches to them. You can see I can probably just about make out the line there. It's a similar distance from the other side as well, but I just wasn't happy. The station, the DMU was as long as the station was, and it just didn't look right. So there we are, that's that bit. So now the papier-mâché is done on just that bit there, what's next? Well, I think what I need to do is to make that section over there and build that up. Obviously there's going to be 2 tunnel portals. It won't be that one. I shall scratch build them, because they've got quite an interesting pattern on them actually. The bricks seem to fan out from the middle as if it's like a star shape in the bricks. It's quite lovely really when you look at them. Whoever built them, it's just an amazing thing. I hope I can replicate it. But anyway, the other part of it as well, once that section's got the part built up to the road level, there's a bridge that comes across here, which I believe is Station Road, and that comes down to the station building, which is obviously going to be around about here somewhere. And there's a path from that bridge coming down to each of the 2 platforms, and then there's a footbridge running across here, which again is a nice old wrought iron type footbridge. So it's again, if I can replicate that or find somewhere to buy something similar, it should be quite nice. Anyway, so other things I'm just thinking I haven't told you. I'm going to put, I've made this little bit of extra back scene, and that's going to be glued just there. Yeah, the blues are slightly off, but I shall just darken this down ever so slightly. I'm sure I can match that pretty close. And then once that's done, I'm then going to paint a little bit of the road on. I might even put some more of the back scene, some more of this greenery stuff a bit further higher up. So find a bit where there's a road going through, or a space where I could put a road going through. And similarly on that side as well, I might even just put a little bit of greenery in there, certainly as it goes around here as well. I think it's too big a jump to go straight into the mountains, so I think I'm going to do that as well. Also, you might remember me saying that this side has got to be built up by quite a lot as well. There's going to be quite a steep bank there, but I've got to work out where all the paths are first before I do that, and where the station buildings come and all the rest of it. So that might be a little while thinking about that. This section will need to be built up and come down, and that section will need to be built up and come round. So yeah, I know I've done it, but sometimes you have to sort of undo things to get them the way you need them to be, don't you? Right, there is a rough mock-up of the upper level. I'll show you the underside in a minute, but as you can appreciate, this is going to be New Mills. The station is just here, just around there, okay? And there's going to be a road running down here. I will have to extend this obviously across the river. It's going to be massively foreshortened, and there'll be a row of shops here, this side of the river, and also a road, sorry, and also a row of shops here, going up that side of the road. Okay, the shops will then back onto the fields, which will be this area here, and as much as I can get away with, basically, because I don't want, I'm effectively creating another lid here, aren't I, ready for the tunnel. Now that gives you a very clear idea of what's underneath. Now obviously you can do this, I've done this like hollow box construction. It's all rigid, that's absolutely solid. This piece still lifts out, so I can still get to trains underneath. But as I said, I think what I'm going to do is make the whole thing as one big lid. Now, the only concern I do have is the weight side of it. It will be quite heavy, but I'll have to make some of the buildings like a bit of a handle, so I can grab hold of a particular building which is exceptionally strong, and maybe have a wood core, and I put the building around this wood core and then screw it up from the baseboard or something, so that it's going to be very, very, very strong. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an insight to what's going on at the moment. And if I swing round as well, sorry, it's all a bit shadowy. It's not ever so big. I'm in the recess, as you can appreciate. So once, there we are with all that, and once I've sorted out the top section completely, I can get the road positioned, then I can finish this bit off around here. Okay. Right, good afternoon everybody. It's now Saturday afternoon,
and I wanted to do the next stage. Now, I wanted to get all the point motors in for all of this. Unfortunately, my local model shop only had 2 point motors, so I fitted one under baseboard one just there, which is a Pico one, and as you can see there, a surface mounted one, which is going to be hidden. Okay, now next thing is to start thinking about where the tunnels are going to go. Now I've made these, so there's that one, which is the right hand one, and that one, which is the left hand one. Now I did that by searching for photographs of the real thing, but the only ones I could find, and again I can't show you because it's not my photograph, but where this part of the photograph was obscured by something. I can't think what it was, whether it would be bushes or whatever, but anyway, it wasn't a complete portal. So what I had to do was to take that photograph into a photo software program and actually rebuild all of this. It was Procreate actually, I did it on the iPad, so I had to rebuild all of that, and then I made that one from that one by just lightening it a little bit. All these effects here are just paint. I wanted to put the extra salt on, and this particular corner, from the photographs I've seen, does seem to be heavily salted in that corner. Now the next stage then is to put these into position. Now obviously the point motor's in the way a bit, so I do need to cut a part of this away, but I need to measure that, make sure I get the right amount off. Oh, excuse the next door neighbour who's cutting the grass. And obviously that one has got to be mounted in there, so that means I do need to cut some of this back, some of this, and that's not a problem. Sometimes when you do these things, it's like I said, I don't go into heavy planning. I go by eye and see how things look. So by the looks of that, I need to cut out all of this section here, all of that section, and remount that piece slightly further back. So I'll see you in a minute once I've done that. And there it is. I've managed to cut back a lot of the upper board and fit the 2 tunnel portals in. They're only just placed at the moment, but you can get an idea of what that's going to look like now. Take you right quite low, and then up close. Now obviously the real tunnel portals, these tracks here obviously used to go straight, and the left-hand tunnel portal was there, and the track actually curves off to the right. Now I can't do that on this occasion because I've got everything else cut, and granted, if I had done a bit more planning and decided on new mills a bit sooner, then maybe I could have curved the tracks. Only that, if the tracks were curving round, I'd be in this tunnel area underneath here, and obviously we've got all the tracks from the lower level running underneath there, so I need to have gained access. So I think from a compromise point of view, that's probably going to be the best. Now obviously these are not glued down at the moment, neither of them, they're literally just placed. There needs to be some fascia pieces put over the end, which I'm going to use the standard brick paper for, and then weather it. There needs to be another panel going along here, another piece of wall, and well, actually what needs to happen is there needs to be a lower piece of wall, and it's banked in, so there's a steep bank running down here with trees. The bridge going across the road, Station Road, does need to come across also at this point, and I might have to bring it in at a steeper angle so it cuts across like that. So if I'm honest with you, you probably only see this tunnel portal if you're really low, and you're looking along the tracks, but that's just the way life is, I'm afraid. I haven't got the space to do the full length of the station in the same way I haven't got just spinning around the full length to do Piccadilly. You know, the canopies should actually be twice, nearly 3 times those lengths, but you know, it's just an illusion, and this is just an illusion. It's, if it gives the impression of, that's all I'm after. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave this video for now. Obviously, I'm on holiday now. Schools have broken up for half term. It's May bank holiday next week, and I obviously would like to try and get as much of this scene done over this next week or so. So give me 2 or 3 days, and I'll put up another video and show you what progress I've made then. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye then.